Republicans refused to extend the health insurance tax cuts in time, so now millions of Americans have health insurance premiums that are double and sometimes even triple what they were a year ago. In their big, beautiful bill, Republicans took a sledgehammer to our fragile healthcare system to give permanent tax breaks to their political donors, the billionaires, and the biggest corporations.
You know, sometimes it feels like the America I grew up in is slipping through my fingers. Teresa Leger Fernández, representative from New Mexico, stood up on the House floor and gave voice to what so many of us feel right now, that the folks in charge are wrecking the very things that keep us afloat. She called out Republican leaders for taking what she called a sledgehammer to our already fragile healthcare system. Think about it. Prices keep climbing. Groceries, rent, even the cost of a basic appliance, everything's up. And meanwhile, unemployment's ticking higher than it's been in years. Leger Fernández draws a direct line from these struggles to Trump-era tariffs and Republican economic policies. She says those decisions are squeezing working families and making life harder for folks already on the edge. It's not just about dollars and cents, it's about dignity. But here's where she really gets fired up: health insurance. Republicans, she argues, let critical tax credits expire. What does that mean for you and me? It means premiums, those monthly bills, have doubled or even tripled for millions. Meanwhile, the so-called Big Beautiful Bill hands out permanent tax breaks to billionaires and corporate giants, while regular folks get stuck with the bill. It's the old story: profits over people. Fernández paints a picture of a Congress that's lost its way, claiming there's no money for healthcare, but somehow the checkbook's always open for war. Bombings, foreign interventions, endless threats, billions flow overseas while American families get told to tighten their belts.
Mr. Speaker, America is suffering. Americans don't recognize the country we live in. Trump's tariffs have caused prices to soar. We have the highest unemployment in 4 years, so fewer people have jobs. Those out of work can't even afford those expensive groceries and housing and appliances. Republicans refuse to extend the health insurance tax cuts in time, so now millions of Americans have health insurance premiums that are double and sometimes even triple what they were a year ago. In their big, beautiful bill, Republicans took a sledgehammer to our fragile healthcare system to give permanent tax breaks to their political donors, the billionaires, and the biggest corporations. Our president bombed boats and then the capital of a foreign country for oil. And now he says he is acting president of that country. He wants our military to invade a NATO ally. Remember, America and our NATO allies fought fascism together in World War II. Republicans claim we don't have money to keep healthcare costs down, yet they're going to keep spending billions of taxpayer dollars for Trump's reckless military action in Venezuela and everywhere else he decides to invade or bomb.
And then there's a darker turn. She talks about the militarization of American cities, masked federal agents armed to the teeth, raiding neighborhoods, even schools and churches. Latino communities, she says, are being targeted. She tells the story of Renee Nicole Good, a mother of 3, killed during one of these operations. Instead of accountability, the administration blames the victim. That's not the America a lot of us signed up for. Leger Fernández warns that Congress isn't doing its job as a check on executive power. Instead of working to lower prices or fix healthcare, Republicans, she says, are pushing bills that help corporations while families fall behind. She promises Democrats will keep pushing, forcing votes, demanding oversight, and fighting for healthcare and civil liberties.
Trump and Kristi Noem have militarized our streets. Masked men in full military gear roam the streets of our cities. These masked men invade church property and schools, knock down doors without warrants, ram cars, and assault pastors and people of faith. These masked armed men have arrested hundreds of citizens just for looking Latino. And last week, they killed a citizen, shot a mother of 3 in the face 3 times. Her last words were, I'm not mad at you. His words, after shooting her to death, are too obscene to say on this floor. Kristi Noem and the president have now demonized this dead mother. Trump wants Americans to deny what we can see with our own eyes, the killing of the mother, Renee Nicole Good. In the face of all this pain and chaos and economic hardship, the American people expect Congress to do something, to ask hard questions of the administration, to be the check and balance that we were taught about in school, conduct oversight, lower prices, protect our health care. So what are Republicans doing? Last week, following the invasion of Venezuela and the expiration of the health care tax credits, their priority was a bill about shower heads. This week, it's worse. They are actively putting their thumb on the scale of big corporations and against workers, lowering what parents get paid in overtime, reclassifying workers so they can pay them less, or make it easy for corporations like those big meat-packing plants to get away with hiring child labor or wage theft. They want to block financial managers from even considering environmental risks like flooding and wildfires. Yes, Americans want Congress to do something. The problem is Republicans control the House and the bills we consider in the Rules Committee and vote on. But Democrats can force votes like we did on the health care tax credits, like we will soon do on the War Powers Resolution. On the floor of the People's House, we will call out Republicans who always seem to stand with the biggest corporations and against workers, despite what the titles of their bills say. They do the opposite. We will force Republicans to face the consequences of ignoring the economic struggles of everyday Americans. Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
Bottom line, everyday Americans are paying the price for misplaced priorities and power games in Washington. It's a wake-up call. The question is, are we listening? For more coverage on healthcare and what's really happening in Congress, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. I'll be right here, bringing you what matters.